Hey, what's going on? My name's Conrad. This is Radworks, and this is the end of the abandoned Z project. I think we finally figured out what was wrong with the Z and why it wasn't running correctly. There's been a litany of other things, obviously, as we touched on in the last episode, but I think we figured out. Let's catch you up on what I just finished up the other day, so play catch up, and then we'll continue on into it. Doesn't exactly look that clean. That's slightly troublesome. Alright, I'm gonna do a little bit of phone canning in here. Ooh. Yeah, I don't exactly like the way that looks. Shoot. Oh, it's fun. Try and not drop my phone in here. That's gross. Like, obviously it could be worse, but that's not exactly what I wanted to see. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. Bro, what the frickin' heck is going on? Alright. No oil here. Oil. That's fresh oil. This car hates me. That's definitely what it is. This car hates me. How the heck do you get oil there? What? Oy vey. Alright, let's see if we can do it this way. So I don't get the nice camera all messed up. Oh yeah, just fill my arm up with gas. Because you're such a prick. Ah. Oh, alright, well there we go. Just freaking gas on the camera. That's what I love. Fun. Alright. Let that drain out and then we'll get the other side. Alright, got it all in that tank. Surprisingly, was not 5 gallons, so it's nice. That's all we got left. Grimy bits, so we'll see what it all looks like at the end. But time to get that guy right up there. All right, last one's out. Let that drain out. So at this point, we went ahead and filled up the tank with vinegar to go ahead and break down anything that was in this tank, whether it be sediment or a little bit of surface rust. And then I got hit with a family emergency, so I did not do a good job of filming any of this. After we put in the vinegar, we filled it up all the way, let it sit in the tank for a few hours, dumped it, filled it with a baking soda mixture to go ahead and neutralize the tank. So the tank got neutralized, dumped that, and then went and rinsed it out with a little bit of gasoline, and then wiped down the tank with marble mystery oil just in case. And then we're back at square one with a nice clean tank. Alright, so as you saw, the tank was full of water, which will definitely cause us some issues on, running, misfiring, etc. Now that we've remedied that, we have one more issue with the fuel tank. Big shout out to Specialty Z for helping me walk through some of the diag on what could be an issue on this car. They recommended the idea that there could be a problem with sediment in the tank. Turns out there was water, and then I did not know that these had a fuel pressure relief valve. That's what it could be. So on these cars, they have a fuel pressure relief valve on the top of the fuel hat, which I did not know. That didn't seem like a very normal thing to me. NAs don't have it, TTs do, and this is also a part that's discontinued. So of course, you can't get your hands on it, like most Z32 things that are TT specific, it seems. So there's two ways to fix this. A, switch it out to an NA hat, which is the easiest and cheapest, but that also requires having a junkyard that either has the car in or having people that are willing to respond off of Facebook Marketplace, which it sure seems like I'm lucking out on that department. Reached out to probably 4 people. I got responses from 1 and then ghosted after asking how much they wanted for it. 2, you pick up a Walbro install kit from Specialty Z. It comes with a fitting to delete the fuel pressure relief valve, and it comes with line, etc. And its own little billet clamp to clamp the clamp down to the fuel hanger, which is super cool, but it's $175. It's a lot of money for a little clamp and a little fitting. So I was talking to Specialty Z on how to rule this thing out. Basically, you just pressurize the valve and see if it opens or not. And he also mentioned that you can drill out and weld the little relief valve. So we might do that today. I'm gonna see if I have all the stuff to do the little bit of welding. If I do, we'll get it done. If not, we'll figure something out. But right now, that's how it's looking. Okay, time to pull this thing for the 4th time. I'm so over doing this. I'm just gonna snap it and it's gonna be done. And just like that, we have the fuel pump hanger out of the car. It was cleaner than it was, but I'll be honest, I did not look at the top of this. That is going to be right there. That guy right there. That crusty looking thing. That's going to be the fuel pressure relief valve. By the looks of that, that's pretty darn crusty. So that very well could be our culprit. I'm going to take that off and kind of further inspect it, but obviously I need 2 hands, so let's take this sucker off. Alright, and just like that, we have both lost our... It is so humid out that the lens keeps on fogging up even with anti-fog. Alright, I've cleaned this lens about 20 times now, and it just keeps on fogging up, so hopefully it doesn't fog. We'll make this quick. Grab the NA hanger, so as you can see, it has no fuel pressure relief valve. That being said, we can just throw this sucker in as it is into the Z, and we should be good to go. And by doing so, it'll let us troubleshoot the pump itself, just by some odd weird chance that is the pump. And at the same time there, the Z is pushing only like 12 psi, so whatever gate really is, or gate plus a little bit or whatever. I don't know how they run. I can just go off the gauge inside. It says 12-ish. It should be just fine with this fuel pump. Let's go throw this sucker in and see if we cured our issue. Would be really nice. Thankfully, this one's nice and clean. I don't have to really mess with it too much. That's dope. We can just chuck this thing right on in. Let's do it. All right, you can't see anything, but that yellow rag meets this pump. Let's get it. A bibbidi bobbidi boop. And there we go. New pump is installed. Just gotta put the hats on. All right, this is where we find out if this was worth it or not. Oh, I heard it. I heard it prime. Heard it prime. Heck yeah! Let's go for a drive, boys! I'm not gonna lie, I'm kinda thinking not a bad place for a hit. That went clean to the 14s. Interesting. Well, I guess we did not solve our issue, boys. Well, at least we're at Import Alliance. Let's go enjoy the show a little bit before they close. Alright, so trying to figure out our fuel system. Our next culprit is going to be fuel pressure regulator that I'm going to test out here. Now I have to take that out and figure out how we're going to run AN line to the fuel rail down to the return. So time to brainstorm some of that. Alright, I'm going to just go ahead and run this hose down to here, clamp that down real hard, then run a adapter fitting onto this, and that will go to the pressure regulator. And this line will go to the pressure regulator as well. I do not have the ability to get a push lock onto the end of there. So that's my game plan. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Alright, we are about to lose our daylight, but we just got the fittings delivered that we were missing to install our lovely little fuel pressure regulator. Alright, plan is gonna be this guy goes down here
our return goes, oh, let me go get light. Dang it. That will do. All right, so we are going to mount this sucker right here just for testing purposes. And I mean strictly for testing purposes. I'd love to make a bracket that goes like right here because that would be an ideal spot with some room to go down on that sensor. Anyways, line is going to basically route like this. I'm gonna pull the old one off. For testing purposes, we're just going to run it straight from the fuel rail. We can adapt it in the future, but right now I don't want to take off the manifold, so it is what it is on that one. We're going to take it and run it down to the pressure regulator here. Use the 90-degree fitting right here and a push lock for the end of the hose, and then we'll do push lock on the bottom here. Go from the bottom of the regulator to our hardline return, and that will be how it goes. If this works out at all, I've got some other fittings to adapt the rest of the line. So because I do not have much light, I'm just going to do a little transition here. Boom. There we go. We got it. Let's just set the fuel pressure regulator up and we'll be good. All right. Let's key on this sucker and hopefully the battery didn't die. Oh, sounds good. Those aren't good sounds. Those are very not good sounds. Whew. We are leaking like a sieve over here, buds. Oh, jeebus. Oh, jeebus. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? That was real fun. It's actually starting to rain a lot more now, so I'm going to go ahead and just fast forward this to tomorrow. All right, and it is daytime, so we can now fix our issues that we had last night. So we were leaking from this guy, so we need to tighten this one up some more. I didn't fully tighten that, I guess. That guy. And then I need to actually put some thread sealer probably on this guy as it was leaking pretty badly from here. I don't know if it is leaking elsewhere. We'll try and give all the fittings an extra little bit of snug, so let's go ahead, snug those down. I'm pretty sure this guy down here did not leak, but I didn't double check it, so we'll have to double check it once we're running. Now that it is daytime, I found why we squeal so bad. That sucker's coming off, and it is tight. So I need to go ahead and loosen it up, get it back on track, and re-tighten it. So that'll be fun though, because it kind of sucks to get to that tensioner. All right, let's go tighten all this stuff up. All right, so we've re-tightened all the fittings. Actually, this end one was pretty darn freaking loose. Thought I tightened it, but I guess I totally didn't. All the other ones were tight, and obviously we put the thread sealer onto the gauge. So hopefully that doesn't leak, and I got it to line up a little bit more straight. Next step is going to be pull this guy off. Ow. Right under the fingernail. Oh yeah, and I did tighten both of these down an extra couple turns. This one I got more turns than that one. This one I got like a quarter turn out of. So anyways, hopefully those now seal. And then we have some line for our reference here. So that'll go there. And then I need to trim it, and it'll just run right along there. I don't know. This is looking gross to me. For testing purposes, we'll just go right here. So it'll look bad. I mean, this all looks terrible right now, but it'll clean up nicely. So, all right, need to trim that, and then AC belt. Boom, just like that. We are all tightened up down there. That was kind of a pain in the butt. It is on track with the AC compressor, so that is what we needed. So we tightened up all the fittings on the pressure regulator, line onto the rail, line onto the return. And last but not least, we do have our vacuum reference here. Ready to go pop on, but obviously you don't do that until this is set at your base pressure. So start this up and make sure that we have good pressure and we don't leak anymore. All right, let's check this out. This one says 30, this one says 18. I believe twin turbos, fuel pressure is supposed to be at 43.5. That's what I set it to. So pre-rail, we're looking at, this one says 55. And that's saying 53. And that dips to 39, perfect. And the AFR is at 13 for the idle. So I think we're good for that. Got it all set up correctly to the 43.5 PSI for a turbo car. We are not leaking on any of the lines, which is super dope. Everything looks good. So,
With that being said, I think we'll do a little cheeky test drive.
move the caddy, get it going. All right, let's see if this works out. I've got it set up on a tripod. Not a tripod, I got it set up on a mount in the back. Let's go test this sucker out. All right. I cannot read these. So, this is going to be kind of one of those yellow things. That position is 150, give or take. So that was 13.5 on the AFO and no dipping on the fuel gauge. On the start, dipping down to the tens. Fuel looked like it was starting to drop. Then this sucks. Pretty sure it's starting to lean out towards that 13 mark.
I'm gonna say that's kind of like a half fail. It's more stable for sure, but we're gonna have to, double check. Could be okay, but third gear pull, high 13s AFR, little drop in fuel pressure from what I could see. Not exactly what I want, but we'll have to verify this tomorrow. So let's go check it out tomorrow.
It is now morning time. Sun is shining. Oh, this gauge is infuriating me. Constantly wants to spin in a direction I don't want. Let's go. That fuel pressure was dropping sharp. I don't know what we're doing here. We might have to play fuel pump musical chairs again. That's not thrilling me so much. We'll do another pull here and see what it does, just to confirm it. So we had one pull last night where the fuel dropped, and obviously one today. That dropped down to 30. That dropped down to 30 as well. It's dropping 5. What the heck? That does not please me. Alright, we'll do some diagnosing later. Alright, and back to working on it. I'm going to deem the NA pump that we threw in weak, so let's throw back in the TT pump and see what we look like for fuel pressure. So, I'm going to do that really quick. Lovely, 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 lovely. That is exactly what I wanted to open this up to. Well, that could very well be our pressure problem. I'm gonna switch the pumps anyways, but dang, that line is such a pain to get. Well, at least I found a problem. Again, another one. So, all right, let's fix this. Get a new pump slapped in and fix this line. And here is the culprit. I was a little dramatic on it being a huge pain in the butt. It's actually not that bad. All you do is just slice it on the end here. You just run a knife down it and it'll pop right back off. And then when you're putting on the new one, just load it up with silicone and she'll slip right on. So that is our big culprit for the leak at the fuel line. Big old hole right there. Just broke down over time. So I just need to go cut some line, throw it on. All right, finally got this sucker in with its hose clamp. The hose clamp definitely Come on, focus. Oh well, you'll just have to trust me. Hose clamp is down there. That is the biggest pain in the butt about doing all this. Reality, I struggled with trying to pull it off, just cutting it off and then pulling it off, slapping it with a whole bunch of silicone. Not bad. Hose clamp, obnoxious. Time to swap the fuel pump stuff. Oh great, I just made a mess. That pump on that hanger.
Whew. That was a turn of events. Remember kids, use your squinticles and probably a pair of safety glasses whenever you're doing any of these pump swaps.
Finally got the hose off of this sucker.
And was presented with a eye full of gasoline, which, not fun. Don't recommend. Whew. I'm gonna put some eye drops in and get back at this.
Boom. There we go. New pump is all on there. Everything's all tightened down. All good. Wired up.
Slap it in there now. One thing that sucks, put this down, is I put these brand new tank seal kit from O'Reilly's, and it sucks absolute dingus dong. This sucker is already swollen out of the freaking tank. What the heck? I'm probably gonna have a freaking massive gas leak here. I'll try my best to get it sealed, see what happens, and I'll just go order a new one. All right, get the sucker in. Boom. Got it all set up and back in. That is a glorious sight to see. I had to fight that gasket a lot to get it to go and seat back into the groove. Big pain in the butt. I'm gonna leave this lid off so I can inspect it. We're gonna start it up and see if we have any more leaks. See how it works. Hopefully the twin turbo pump is good. It sounded good, and we had good pressures before.
So the idea was that maybe, just possibly, that the fuel pump was pushing too much fuel for the regulator. Maybe. That was kind of what was in my head. So aftermarket fuel pressure regulator now, and back to the twin turbo pump. Hopefully that does the ticket, and we don't have any more lean scenarios. Still don't understand the rich thing, but hey, we'll figure it out.
All right, let's see how she goes. Make sure she's in neutral. Sit.
Sounding good.
What do we got fuel pressure wise? Sitting right at the 40 mark.
That's good. Pop hood. No leaks. Beautiful. Exactly what we want to see. Double check the pressure on the regulator. Perfect. Got it right at that 39 mark. Bingo.
All right, let's go for that test drive.
Alright, so obviously it's the next day. There's actually a good chance that I might have lucked out and had two bad pumps. So NA1 could very well be weak and my TT1 might be weak. So obviously we have a new regulator, new line that doesn't have a hole in it that I might have put a hole into it. Yeah, that was great. This is a good move on my behalf. All of that has been taken care of. We've swapped our pumps. We've kind of gone in our ring around the rosy here. Oddly enough, I think our next plan of attack is to switch the pumps again, to which I have an idea.
Hello, my dear. So, I don't know if I went over this in my GTR videos, but this car came with a fancy dual hanger pump setup, and it has dual Walbro 450s on it. So, I'm thinking we just steal one of these bad boys, because it's not going to need both of them anytime soon. So I'm going to take and throw this one onto the Z. Now, that sock, however, does look pretty grody. We're going to have to figure out something about that one. But first things first is just take this apart so we can go and throw it in the Z. I can't lie, I kind of feel like a grave robber doing this. Well, it feels a little messed up. What can you say? This car ain't using these right now, and this one can use it. Let's go throw the sucker in. And here is our new sock that will replace our Dookie Brown destroyed filter, sock, strainer, whatever you want to call it. And really nice thing is this one will be able to slip further down into the tank. When it's mounted, it'll go down that way, since the tanks kind of protrude downwards a little bit. So that's actually pretty cool. A little bit of an upgrade. Now to take you out for the 6th time. Let's just snapdragon this sucker out. All right, and just like that, our pump is back out for the 6th time. So yeah, we just need to get the pump back off, get it all clamped off, get all the connections off of it again, and then mount our new pump here. Instead of mounting it here, I think we're going to just go ahead and mount it right here with these zip ties that we got from O'Reilly's at the same time. That should do the trick.
That's good. I'm gonna go ahead and get this pump off and then show mounting the new one. So
let's get to it. All right, well, it looks like we are about to storm, so that's lovely. Try and speed run this before that happens. All right, Conrad from the future here. This already has been quite the round robin, so I'm gonna try and condense this some. As you may have been able to tell, this diagnosis process took me quite some time between switching pumps. So I stupidly thought that I could just throw this pump into the car, and with filling it up with fuel, it would let me pop it loose if it was stuck at all. Well, that was a stupid idea. The pump is locked up. So I pulled the pump out again, filled it up with penetrating oil, and hooked it up to the battery. It started to turn over, threw it back into the tank. Lo and behold, that pump is cooked from sitting. It had so much resistance that the wires at the connectors were blazing hot. Like, burnt my fingy tips hot after just 30 seconds of idling. So at that point, I took the second pump out of the GTR and tested it. It was also a little bit cranky, so I filled it up with penetrating oil before putting it in, popped it a few times with the battery outside of the tank, and it sounded great, super healthy, and like in a little RC motor. So I felt confident in using this second pump, which was working like a charm, and that brings us up to date to this point. All right, got it in. Let's check it out. I am prepared for your squeakiness. Ooh, that sounds so much better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's more like it. Alright, I need to adjust the fuel pressure regulator. And then we can go for a test drive on this one. Well, actually no. Hold up. Hold up, one moment. We need to verify that these aren't getting wicked hot. I feel a little bit of warmth, but I think this will be good enough for a test drive. The other one was way too hot, way too fast. That second pump that I had was wicked bad, so I'm glad I switched that one out. Change this fuel pressure. That is a smidgen high. Oh, so pretty. So tranquil. These nuts. All right. Next morning, obviously we have some daylight. We've already got the camera hooked up. Set the fuel pressure regulator. Got everything done. Tightened up the alternator belt because I found out that's what was doing a lot of the squeaking sounds. Still squeaks a little bit, but it's much better. Anyways, let's get going. If it isn't the pump, I have no idea where I'm going after this one. So let's just make sure this fuel pressure doesn't drop because God forbid if it doesn't. All right, got our fuel pressure gauge over here. Let's go. Let us go. Let's see if we get some fuel pressure. But the fuel pressure not dropping. Woo! Finally got something. That's not really getting hot. Heck yeah. Wires are good. I don't like the shutter when I shift. Not a big fan of that one. Not a big fan. Fuel pressure, which fuel pressure was good. Thank God we're not just broken. We're making progress, boys. We're making progress. What do we think, boys? We should do a victory burnout?
That's suspicious. That's weird.
That's kind of weird. It just loses it. That's a wee bit suspicious. We will take our W's where we can take them. Yes.
I will call that gladly a successful test drive.
Alright, so I've got a bunch of button-up stuff, but we are definitely taking that as a big W. After pulling that thing 8 times and going back and forth, I am super, super glad that this thing is finally cooperating a little bit. Gotta still chase why it's going so stinking pig rich, but outside of that, we finally got our first drive in. It was a short test drive. We'll get some longer drives in, and we can finally call the Z done as far as the abandoned project.
Oh, kitty cat. Hey, kitty cat. Kitty cat. Kitty, 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 kitty. Hey, where'd you go, buddy? Kitty cat. Kitty cat. Kitty.
Screw you too, bud. I was trying to share my enjoyment and this excitement with the kitty cat, but I guess kitty cat says screw you. Anyways, yeah, I got a bunch of button-up stuff to do and finish up on the Z, but great success. We still have a bunch of stuff to fix on the Z, you know, the bumpers, how you going, hood's how you going, paint's how you going. Just need to button everything up from all the build stuff and all the diagnosis. So don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, all the standard stuff. Peace out. Stay rad. I'll catch you on the next one, whether it be a Z video or a 7 video. I'll see you on the next one.